Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the GC podcast. I'm your host, Liz Elam. This is where we explore the future of work, community, and the ever-evolving co-working movement. I'm thrilled to be joined by Will Sanford, Director of Co-working at Yardi. If you've been in the flexible workspace industry for any amount of time, you know Yardi because they've been instrumental in providing the technology and solutions that power our industry forward. Will brings not just expertise in technology, but also a deep understanding of how operators can thrive in this competitive and fast moving landscape. We're going to dig into trends, challenges, opportunities, and what he's seeing right now and what's coming next. And I want to welcome Will.
Thank you, Liz. It's good to see you. That was a very kind intro.
Oh, thanks. Well, you guys, I'm sure people know this, but Yardi has been a fantastic partner of GC's from the very beginning when it was One Systems. And we have a longstanding partnership that we really, really value. And we love partnering with Yardi because it's a product we believe in. And we're proud to say it's going to work. You should use it.
I appreciate that. And I think when I joined just over a year ago, you were one of the first people in the industry that I met at large when you were on site here with myself, Rob Teal, Anna in Santa Barbara. So very much appreciate the ongoing partnership.
Yeah, love it. So, all right, let's talk about you. How the heck are you? Tell me something good.
I'm great. I'm still reveling in kind of new fatherhood. I got an 18-month-old at home now, and it's funny. Everything seems to be like, here's my story from today because it changes every day. But I woke up this morning. I'm a big Garmin person. I checked my watch. For some reason, I was shocked that I have like a 46 resting heart rate while I'm asleep, which seems worrisome.
Wow.
Maybe I need to look into that. I should be dead. But like, I brought my son into our bed at like 5 a.m. He was just hooting and hollering. And then he decided to, 20 minutes later, just full headbutt me right in the bridge of the nose to wake me up for the day. And I then checked my watch and my heart rate had immediately gone to like 98. So that was how I woke up today, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Wow. Amazing. So how has your morning routine changed since you got a new human in your world?
I'm trying to balance, working out, looking after me with, being a dad and doing all the other things. There's a bunch of people who particularly in the co-working industry, that I'm just amazed at, like, their grit to get up and when we're at these conferences, always work out, always be the person on the run, and like still be amazing family people. I'm trying to figure out that balance. So that's me at the moment.
It's a lot. I am, you know what? I used to be the morning workout person. I used to get up super early, but then when I got the Aura Ring, I started changing and prioritizing sleep, and I haven't looked back. And I just get my workouts in the afternoon or in the evening. And I just prioritize sleep because I think it's more important for me.
I'm liking that trend as well. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, no, scientifically it's better I sleep in this morning.
100%. I will co-sign on that all day long. Okay, so you guys know I'm a futurist and I am super obsessed with AI. I think AI is like computers, right? And it's also that thing that, like, just like computers, everyone's like, oh, we're not going to have any jobs because of computers. Well, guess what, everybody? You still have a job. I feel like AI is that same thing, right? That everyone's like, oh, we're not going to have jobs, whatever. No, AI is fantastic. AI is going to be great. Will be used for some nefarious bad stuff? Absolutely, just like everything is. But in general, I'm obsessed. I'm personally a Chat GPT girl, although I do dabble. But I would like to know what kind of AI you're personally using at work and what's really working for you.
Yeah. I feel like this whole AI adoption into all functions across the business is the largest adjustment I've had to make in the way that I think and operate as a professional. And I would say, like, since when I got out of college and went into banking originally, you had to learn how to use Excel and how to build a model and all these things. And that was like that first big foundational thing. But since then, it's you build soft skills, you build relationships, which is natural across all industries. This has been, I think, the biggest shift that personally I've had of I need to learn a new language, otherwise I'm going to be left behind. So I try to leave 1 to 2 hours a week just to learn what is out there and what to do. And I now have kind of a list of things that I would say I am a step one idiot working towards a crawl in several things. So I guess to answer your question, like I'm a ChatGPT person. I now go to ChatGPT instead of going to Google because it builds a
Mhm.
requisite base of knowledge for me and my preferences, and I now do all manner of personal things through that. That is my travel booking agent that knows what to do with my Chase and Marriott points, etc. So building out that base of knowledge, but for work, we're a Microsoft organization, so Copilot, have to learn the capabilities of that. And I think one
Mhm.
of the biggest learnings that I've had is, what is native to your organization and what is not. Because Copilot for everything Microsoft, if you're not using that for helping write emails, setting follow-ups, doing meeting summaries, connecting into other systems like our home built CRM at Yardi so that notes automatically move over to make you more efficient.
Mhm.
That you're missing something. But then there's this world of point solutions out there that can do all manner of really, really cool stuff. So, I've got this list of things that I'm trialing at the moment. There's a AI company called Shortcut that does native
Mhm.
language financial analysis. If you say, build me a multifamily portfolio analyst with cash flows, return waterfalls, it will be bing, bang, boom, check it all, use assumptions from particular markets based on publicly available data. It's amazing. Things that, as a financial analyst, would take you years of training and weeks to create. So that's amazing. Obviously, note taking is a big one. I'm trialing this one called Granola right now, constantly looking for
Yeah,
the best
yeah.
one of that. That one I found is pretty great. Um,
Yeah,
presentation creation.
Sam Rosen told me about granola.
There we go. Why am I not talking with Sam about this? He knows this stuff infinitely better than I do. Um, one thing I suck at is creating presentations. As a salesperson, not shocking. But the Canva plugin for ChatGPT is awesome. There's also
Mhm.
another company called Gamma that I'm checking out to see
Mhm.
whether it can translate my idiot babble into something that's presentable. Um, and then there's this world of agent creation, like you, I, everyone does so many manual things that you wish you could be given a report on that can learn to over time take actions to make your life better. And that's really the part where I want to get better for myself, for my team, for my organization. Like it's on my shoulders to make our co-working business more efficient. And a lot of that is agentic. So yeah, those are some of the things that I'm looking at. Lindy's a company in that space that I'm trialing right now, but it comes down to where can you share, your personal and organizational data? Where can you share customer data? There's a lot that goes into this, and this is where that, to end a long answer to your short question, like it's a new language. The models
Yeah.
where you can share the data, what the tools can do. It's a steep learning curve, but I think it's a really interesting and exciting one.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same thing. I put a couple of hours in my schedule every week to just go explore. Just be curious, go explore because it's an overwhelming amount of information, data, options. Also check out beautiful.ai for
Cool.
building presentations.
Love it.
There's just so many. It's absolutely overwhelming, the
Yeah.
volume of information. But what one of the things that's kinda nice about it is I feel like we're all at the same kinda level set right now, like, it's new for everybody. And
Yep.
so, like, when somebody says I'm an AI expert, I'm like, "Are you? Are you really? Do we have those
Yeah.
yet? Has it been long enough?" Yeah, it's really fascinating and for me, really fun. Like, I love the possibilities. I
Yep.
love all the things that we could possibly do with this. So, what do you think if you take out your futures hat and put it on, what do you think this means for the future of work in the next, like, 5 to 10 years?
I hope it means really pragmatic applications of things that have long plagued our industry and segment. And they will be measured by, do they actually achieve outcomes or do they just do something flashy? Because I think that's a big
Mhm.
differentiator. You can spend, like you said, so much time looking into these things and make complexity for yourself, and not have
Mhm.
much outcome. So I think I hope that for kind of future work and co-working, that we can improve operational efficiency. and that's like a
Mm-hmm.
legacy data thing for commercial real estate, and which co-working has to a certain degree inherited, right? It's lease administration, it is bookings, it is, support related to like the digital versus physical experience. Like all those things should be dramatically improved by AI. I think that the member experience can be significantly improved. Um, you know,
Mm-hmm.
every organization should have its own native language, a way that they like to treat members, experiences that they want to put directly into the hands of their members that are self-service. And I think that AI is going to go a long way to doing that. And well, third one, which has just been around forever, is the challenge of sales and leasing in commercial real estate. How do you get access to what you want, get enough information that you can make a decision? That's still, I think, broken. Um, Co-working's at the forefront of that, and I think we
Mm-hmm.
might be the industry to change the experience that is then adopted by traditional commercial real estate. We're seeing that in a couple of manners already. Um, but I think AI will play a big role there because it's going to take away some of the stigma of automating the real estate experience.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And ripe for disruption. Please disrupt real estate. It needs it. And then what are some of the practical AI tools that operators should be experimenting with right now? Like what's the low-hanging fruit?
Well, the low hanging fruit is sales and leasing. Um, I think we've seen right, rightly so, explosion of like leasing agents uh,
Mhm.
in the co working space, and that's great. Um, you should be able to sell 24/7. You should be able to get information on true availability, and that's where we've got a lot of work to do. And I say that us as an industry, also us as Yardi, we want to make that really seamless. Get what you want when you want it, and interact with the person if you need it. So that's number one. I think workflows supported by agents is huge. There hospitality businesses as co-working locations are difficult, right? They blend
Yep.
in-person experience, facilities management, experience management, operations, reporting, and all those things need to blend together seamlessly. So agent workflows to work across those areas to make people's lives easier. I don't think the operations teams of co-working locations get enough credit for how good a job they are doing with how blind they have had to run in such a quick changing
Mhm.
market. And they
Right.
need agents. It's not going to replace anyone's jobs in that world. They are doing so many things and wearing
Mhm.
so many hats. They just
Right.
need support. I don't think anyone there is going to be out of the job from an agent. So that yeah, operations agentic workflows is going to be huge. Um, and frankly, I think each operator needs to think about where are they going to drive the biggest ROI for their organization. Everyone can try and slam a bunch of tools that may not actually lead to better member or organizational outcomes. So I think we frankly need to make it a little bit more simple and just focus on what's going to drive the biggest outcomes. It's not going to be everything all at once. It's going to be really pragmatic, tactical things that make the operators and members' lives better. So it may not be as sexy
Yeah.
as we want it to be up front, you know?
Yeah, I love that. I love simplicity. I think we just as humans just try to overcomplicate literally everything. And there
Mhm.
is some real beauty in simplicity. And I
Yep.
also think hospitality like lends itself to simplicity as well. If it becomes too complex, it's usually no longer hospitable. So fast forward 5 years, we've got AI implemented. What does the co-working experience look like for members? How is it different because AI has been implemented?
You're probably the best person to talk about this, but I can have a stab at
I
it.
have thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. Please interject. I think the integration between the member experience and workplace management is a big one. We
Mhm.
constantly talk about how we need to connect enterprises with our segment as a part of a
Mhm.
broader ecosystem of space use, including long-term leases, owned space, and flexible space. I think that increasing integration into workplace management is going to be critical. Meaning things like when you're at an organization and you have a meeting come up, having nudges and suggestions for spaces that fit your
Mhm.
need, location,
Yep.
and use. I think that's going to be
Mhm.
huge because people don't want to have another job of effectively booking a trip, which everyone hates. No one likes using corporate booking systems to get from A to B. It's much
Mhm.
easier to go on Google or your app. No one wants to go through that experience just to book a meeting, on top of having to plan and facilitate the meeting. So making that
Mhm.
more seamless is going to be a big part. And I think most corporate organizations now have a pretty sophisticated system to manage the interaction of their people. Um, I think native language support is going to be huge. If something
Mm.
goes wrong or I need something, can I get that without having to speak to a person? I think most of us are at the point of frustration. I don't know about you. If I have to talk to a person for like recurring kind of challenges or really tactical
Oh, yeah.
things, I'm annoyed. I don't want to have to press zero, right? It annoys me if you can't solve my
Mhm.
problem through, some, AI supported channel. So things like, access control, service ticketing, billing, invoicing, what's going on, what's coming up. I should be able to just get all these things presented to me or sort very simply. And I should be able to do it in a language that meets the expectation of my organization or my provider. I think that
Mhm.
one should be commonplace, coming up. And the last one would be self-service. I mean, I want to be able to buy things in a way that meets my expectation again without having to feel like I'm being sold. Most people, like you and I, have probably done their chat GPT and got enough context to understand what we're doing and what we want to buy or do, such that we're like, all right, now just let me have the thing. I don't want to go through another process of someone explaining to me why I should
Mhm.
have this thing when I'm telling you I already want it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so self-service, like, whether it's just I need my invoice or I want to make an addition or I want to amend something and I want that to be immediately activated and accessible to me. I think that's going to
Mhm.
be huge. So self-service would probably be the biggest way in which like the members' experience should change.
Hey there, if you're in the co-working and flex space industry, or even just curious about it, you need to be at Juicy. We've got 2 amazing events lined up for you. First up, GCUC, happening this October in London. Tickets are on sale now and the lineup is looking incredible. Can't make it across the pond? No problem, we've got you covered. Juicy USA 2026 is headed to New York City and we'd love to see you there. At both events, you can expect expert-led sessions, small group roundtables, a vendor expo, and non-icky networking. We've got drinks, dinners, after-hour hangouts, and tours of the coolest co-working spaces in town. It's where the future of work meets real human connection. So, what are you waiting for? Head over to juicy.co to grab your ticket today. We'll save you a seat.
Yeah, and I think, for me, one of the things we've really seen that I think is gonna be very cool is, and that was definitely a thread throughout what you just talked about, is, the personalization of it
Mm,
all. And that, the space should know who I am and how I want the room set up. The
yep,
space should understand, and there should be some very intuitive things that just happen because I'm there.
yep,
And I love that. And just knowing that if I go into the meeting room, I'm always freezing. So we need to bump the temperature up to 72 instead of where it's normally set at 68, or that I like dim lighting over bright lighting, and I prefer a yellow tone to a white tone, or, whatever. I think that there's a lot of personalization. And then I also think at a really base level, there's some things that you just need to work. Like, for instance, I was at a co-working space the other day, and every single time I go in, I have to re-log in, and it makes me crazy
yeah,
because every single time I go to Soho House, anywhere in the world, I'm connected. But the fact that when I go to this co-working space, I have to log in every single time makes me absolutely crazy. So it's just like really simple things that are annoying, right? It's like, um, I think having facial recognition on my phone is so great because then I can get past so many password authentication tools, right? Because it just sees my face and we're good to go. Yes, more of that type of thing is what I'm looking for. But I also think as we do, we'll probably take it too far in the self-help realm, and then what'll happen is the stuff that is humanized will be noted as humanized so that you know when you're acting when you're when you are talking or interfacing with a human, because that will then become more important because everything will be done through AI. So like the check mark will be for the human.
Yes. Yeah, it's connecting the experience that they want with a simple AI supported way to get it rather than replacing it altogether. Um, that's why I think that each individual operator in the space is going to have to think about what are the experiences or optimizations that are going to mean the most to my space and member, because you can
Mhm.
throw so many things at this and distract yourself with things that are frankly kind of complicated. Even though a lot of them come out the box, you need to be a little bit of an engineer to make them work effectively. um, and not a lot of them, I think, are going to drive like the most result day one. And I think this is where, you think through a technology product hat. Sometimes the eventual product that you want someone to use is not the first thing that you want to offer them because it requires, prerequisite knowledge, some experience, proof that that's going to give a return to that user. You don't want to give them the ultimate fancy thing, right? Like, it's the reason that,
Right.
you know, Uber today is very different from Uber of 10, 15 years ago. The product evolves. And I think the same could be said about the amount of AI options that co-working operators are going to have or have already for their operations and members. They're going to have to say,
Mhm.
here are the three that I think really matter to me and my team most,
Yeah.
and the rest can wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's a really good tactic. So how is Yardi leveraging AI in Cube, and what kind of impact are you having it seen on operators and members?
Well, impact, very little yet because we haven't launched a lot. I'd say we've been pretty quiet in this space. But we've been working very hard across the organization. I'm
Mhm.
sure a lot of people know we have a massive multifamily and commercial real estate
Yeah.
business. Co-working is just one part of what we do. And, there's a pretty, tried and tested, we just turned 40 as an organization, playbook of what we roll out to customers, right? It's, organizational, accounting solutions, operational ERP solutions, and then we get to the end users and say, once we have all that in place, how can we optimize that customer's experience once we manage everything else downstream? And we're doing the same thing for co-working, but what we've been working on the rest of our business is kind of a playbook of three things as it relates to AI. One is support, which is pretty simple. How do you get the answers to whatever you need, whether you're, a new employee at an operator, whether you're a user as a member of a co-working location? How do you just understand how to interact with your operator, your space, your system, and do that in a really intuitive, simple way, right? It's looking at the answer between ChatGPT gives you versus Google gives you. Don't give me the information, give me the answer, right? So helping upskill people within this environment that way, that one's not super sexy, but it's impactful. Um, the second is like native in product AI. So that's, your data. What can we do with it to help you better manage your space? And this is things like leasing agents, right? If someone comes to your website, they want to understand what's available at 10 p.m. Is there,
Mhm.
in an ad break from a TV show, you know, where can I get the best desk tomorrow? I want immediate access to it. What does it come with? That one has coffee. This one doesn't. What's the price differential? Bang, booked. Um, yeah, that is coming, and we'll have that by end of year. So that would be kind of one example of like native in product AI. We're layering tools on top of your data and making it available to your customers. So that
Mhm.
would be number two. And the third, I think, is the coolest and most impactful in the long run, which is what we call Yardi Virtuoso, which is our agent builder environment. So, in a world where someone's using one of our operations products and has everything from prospect to customer to contract to billing to booking data in the system,
Mm-hmm.
you want to create operational efficiencies with your team. So we have a white space. If you've ever been on one of the agent builders, it looks just like a whiteboard, right? And I say, I want to build a booking agent and I want ChatGPT to be the engine that understands the query. And then I want to add my booking and availability data as a customer data source to that. And then I want to give it the ability to book to my system. And then you would
Mm-hmm.
link that agent to a billing agent, right? That would do something else. And you can connect these however you want, create them however you want. It's a white space to do everything on top of Yardi. And this is where we want to give organization A versus organization B the ability to build their own custom agents for their own workflows in a way that applies AI to the degree that they want it in their organization, right? Someone
Yeah.
might want to be completely hands off when it comes to renewals and bookings. Another one might want a human touch point because they have a specific kind of member and inventory. We're going to support that. So this Virtuoso Conductor platform is going to allow customers early next year to create agent workflows that execute on their behalf programmatically across all Yardi co-working products.
Love that. I love the name, and I love that you've put the control in their hands, right? It's like, do however little or however much as you want and do it on whatever platform you want. Like, that's awesome. So smart.
Well, the challenge is then going to be kind of like you and me up front talking about how can I learn to even use these things so that it doesn't just send me like a bad reference back or gives me bum
Mhm,
data.
mhm.
Like we're going to have to spend a lot of time in the next 12 months teaching people, here is how you build agents for Yardi. And that
Yeah.
over time, I mean, we want to make it as intuitive as possible. And I know a lot of smart people in our industry are going to get it
Mhm,
like that. But when it comes to, a new employee or community manager saying, hey, I just want to like automate notifications to all of our members of these
mhm,
kind of events coming up, bang, like we should
mhm,
teach them how to do that. And, optimize their organization so, two employees have the power of five because of this.
mhm.
No one's going to get replaced. You're just going to become much more efficient so that the people there can focus on the things that do require human touches, like community management, community building,
Mhm.
just building a brand. Those things
Yeah.
always matter and at the core of our industry, but the other stuff should be optimized.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. So what else can we expect from Yardi in the future with your AI innovation?
I would say the biggest one is just getting agent Virtuoso Conductor off the ground. Um,
Mm,
no one has seen much in the co-working space from Yardi related
mhm.
to AI because it's all been on the multifamily and commercial side. So we're just really excited to bring AI products to this customer.
Mhm.
And I know that all of the kind of critical operators who have very complicated operations have been asking for this for some time. So we're just
Yeah.
excited to meet that customer need. Um, yeah, that will be really exciting towards the end of this year. And then I think it can frankly change the way in which we think of a co-working operation. When you're advising
Mhm.
one of these operators, hey, here's how you need to set up, I hope in 9, 12 months' time, you say, hey, here are the 4 or 5 areas where you should be building an agent, and here is the best way to do that because
Mhm.
staffing is not the best way to approach.
Yeah. Yeah, love it. Okay, so final question, where does the time go? I looked at the clock and I was like, "Oh my god, this is insane." So clearly very good conversation. What question should I have asked you, Will, that I did not? And then of course you get to answer it.
Ooh, good, good. Um, one thing that you maybe should have asked, and I'll give you an answer to, is kind of the future of Yardi. right? You've met a
Yeah,
number of
yeah.
our senior leaders, and I think when you've met, particularly Anand, uh, it's surprising how engaged, up to date, futuristic he is for someone who's been grinding this out for 40 years and built an irreplaceable company. So people are always asking, what's next? What's the strategic
Mhm.
plan for us? Um, so one thing that I would say there is co-working continues to be more important than ever to us. Um, we are starting to take most of what we build here and putting it into our commercial customers. So
Mhm.
one topic that I would love to dive into in future is, where is everything we're talking about here showing up, in World Trade Center or Hudson Yards, and how is that
Mhm.
changing the commercial landscape? Because there are some of my counterparts who are taking everything that they can from our co-working experience and applying it to those commercial customers.
Mhm.
So that's number one. And number two is, we're finally at a point where the leadership of Yardi is going to change. Anant
Mhm.
Yardi is going to be stepping down, and Rob Teal, our
Oh,
global president, is going to be taking over. And I think where that matters is,
this is
Rob
huge
well.
news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know really well that, we're a product and customer focused organization. The majority of our
Mhm.
employees are focused on what does the customer want? Let's help them go build that, solve tactical problems. And Rob well. He comes from leading our services division, our global services division. So if someone understands exactly the customer problem down to the technical detail and how we deliver it, he's the
Mhm.
perfect new leader for the organization. So I think everything we've talked about in terms of evolving the commercial real estate industry, taking co-working and applying it to what might be broken in the commercial office world, every one of those is, Rob's close contact. So I think we're in great hands as an organization, and our
Yeah.
mission for what we're doing in co-working will only grow and continue.
I love that. I love that. And congratulations, Rob. And that's fantastic news. We have a great Rob knows co-working, so that makes me so
That's it.
happy.
Yep.
And I think the thing that I see shifting over time is I remember at that pivotal dinner we had in New York right after the WeWork announcement, you know, Anant was expressing what a small amount of his business co-working is.
Yep.
And my hope is that over time that switches, right? And co-working becomes a much bigger line of business because co-working is the better place to go work. It's not the office anymore, it's the co-working. And so you guys will shift to a bigger focus on co-working because it's going to be a bigger piece of the business. And I know I'm just like the Pollyanna who's ever so into co-working and always going to say it's growing and doing great. But you know what? It freaking is. And
You've
it's
backed the
going to
right horse,
continue
Liz.
to.
We all believe that.
Over and over and over. Well, that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much, Will. He is the director of co-working at Yardi. I hope you gained as much insight and inspiration as I did. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you subscribe, share it with your community, and join us in person at our next event, which is going to be in New York City this April. Yardi will be a huge part of that event, as always, and we will look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and keep shaping the future of work because it's very bright, that future. Okay, ciao.